Early extension is a swing flaw that plagues a lot of golfers, and as a result it gets a lot of discussion around it in the world of golf. What early extension is when the golfer triggers a bit of posterior pelvic tilt in downswing, which is essentially thrusting the hips toward the ball and creating a bit of a, call it like an ab crunch in there. And as a result, there will be some extension to relieve that pressure through the ball. And we'll see limited rotation and a tush coming off the line here. So when we look at this, we can see why some people call this kind of funny, but they call it goat humping. As you can sort of use your imagination what that would look like. But like I said, it is a serious issue for a lot of people in their golf swing. And most of the time, the advice given, or the blame is given to someone having very tight calf muscles. Now, I'm not sure I totally agree with that because, well, this golfer in particular has proven to me that he has very flexible calf and hamstring muscles, so that is certainly not an issue for him, yet he still suffers from the swing issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the technical flaws that trigger this in his golf swing, and then we'll compare to professional here, Jon Rahm, and see what he does differently and how he's able to avoid that flaw of goat humping. So since the cause of this golfer's early extension is not tight calf muscles, and trust me, he can touch his toes with ease when he bends over, and he can do any calf stretch in the world no problem and not feel any tension. So we've got to help him out by finding something else that could be the cause. And to do that, we're going to focus on his footwork, and more specifically where the pressure in his feet go throughout the golf swing. So as he goes back, what we're going to notice is, as his butt starts to come off the line, he's very much got his weight, the pressure, in the balls of his feet. And at the time of shooting this video, he was originally under the impression that that's what he should be doing. You know, you always hear, keep the weight kind of in the balls of your feet for good balance and stability. So this is a case where he's doing such a good job of that he keeps it there pretty much the whole time. And as a result, as he comes down, the pressure is getting into the balls of the feet, maybe into the toes. So he's going to try to clear his left side, but he gets stuck. And that's pretty common in some with early extension, is they can't rotate, they can't clear their left side. And as a result, since the left side can't get out of the way, the right side wants to go somewhere, he wants to push and get some power, and he ends up thrusting it that way because that's the only open space for that hip to go. And there it goes. So since he didn't get any rotation, he was forced to thrust. And a big part of this was due to his footwork. You can see he's in the balls of his feet for his whole golf swing. And then he even ends up sort of jumping onto his toes because of that extension. So he's trying to create power from the ground, he's trying to rotate, but he can't because he's got poor footwork. So now let's take a look at someone with great footwork, and that's Jon Rahm on the right here. So as Jon makes his backswing, let's pay really close attention to what his feet appear to do. It's pretty subtle, so we have to look closely. But on the way back, we're going to watch him pull that trail hip back and around, staying on that line. what we're going to start to notice is there's that subtle lifting of his toe. Not massively, but just enough to give us the impression that the pressure in his feet have shifted a little bit towards his heel to support that move of his hip. Now, as he goes down, we know he's going to do, like all good players, he's going to clear that left side. So let's watch him do that. He's pulling that lead hip back, to the left and then back around. And let's focus on that lead foot, look for clues. There again, we see that toe lifting ever so slightly, right in there. That's evidence that he has subtly shifted the pressure in his lead foot now more towards that heel, or at least somewhere around the ankle. So doing that aided him in clearing that left side and getting that lead leg kind of going this way. And that's why we see that left side back staying on this line. And there's no early extension because since he pulled his left side out of the way, his right side had somewhere to go when it fired. So he was able to keep lots of room for his arms and maintain very good rotation, which is one of the reasons why he absolutely bombs it with such a short golf swing. So if you're looking to correct early extension in the golf swing, a great place to start is by checking the footwork. So as a general rule of thumb, where the pressure in either foot is positioned should be working to support what the golfer is trying to do with the hip and the leg that's above that foot. So in Jon Rahm's case, he's trying to clear his left hip back and around. So it makes sense that he would shift the pressure to the heel side of his lead foot as he swings through the ball. So much so that he's actually pretty notorious for posing on his heel. And in the golfer on the left's case, we see pressure staying in the ball or toe side of his foot, and so it's very hard to get that rotation. Two opposing forces kind of equals a stall. So it's worth it to spend some time making sure your footwork is correct. It'll help you reduce that early extension tendency, and it'll provide you with the foundation for building a great golf swing moving forward.